Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple.
We're here with an analysis of the Premier League encounter between Chelsea and Liverpool at the Bridge. Lampard and Klopp renewed rivalries after the Super Cup, and the match ended 2-1 to Liverpool thanks to goals by Alexander-Arnold and Firmino for Liverpool and Kante for Chelsea. However, the expected goals ended in Chelsea's favour in a fairly even match. Now, let's have a quick look at the tactics which led to this.
Just before we get into that though, if you're new around here, I'd appreciate it if you liked, commented and subscribed. If you want to see more match reviews, player and manager profiles, and so much more. Drop video suggestions below or tweet at Football Made Simple. Now, let's get into it.
And if you want to get live match updates and statistics when your favourite club's playing, check out OneFootball, which is the best free app to do so. You can download it through the link in the description below. Let's start with what Chelsea aimed to do on the ball. When building up from the back at goal kicks, the centre-backs would be either side of the goalkeeper with the full-backs pushed higher. At times, the Chelsea defensive midfielders would stay higher up the pitch behind the press. However, usually both Kovacic and Jorginho would drop, allowing Kante to play higher. This is due to Kovacic and Jorginho's ability to recycle the ball, so Lampard would rather have them here in this position to receive the ball off the defence as they are more press resistant. However, Liverpool would push their front three higher in a 4-3-3, but Chelsea's positioning made it easy for them to cover the front three, especially as Firmino could cover both the defensive midfielders by standing between them. As a result, Chelsea were often pressed and forced long. In the first half, Abraham was often isolated and would not be able to hold up the ball against the physically stronger Matip and Van Dijk as he was isolated. When they moved higher up the pitch though, the midfield maintained roughly the same structure. Lampard kept Kovacic and Jorginho as pivots and allowed the fullbacks to push higher up. However, Liverpool would press their centre-backs as they weren't great on the ball. When Chelsea had the ball central, Liverpool would wait for the centre-backs to shift it to one side, and by shifting the press, they'll be able to cut off one half of the pitch, making it easier to try and win the ball. Mane was especially effective, completing 4 tackles and interceptions. However, if they kept the ball, Kante often looked to utilise the right-hand side, as the highest of the 3 midfielders. He would often shift into the right half-space position, which would then free Willian to come infield, as Azpilicueta was encouraged to push high up, especially as Mane stayed higher up the pitch. As a result, Azpilicueta attempted 7 crosses, the second highest on the pitch. Interestingly, the positioning of Kante high up is what led to the goal. Willian tucks in, occupying a defender, and Azpilicueta occupies the fullback, so Kante gets a little extra time on the ball and scores. The secondary tactic, as Chelsea was often on the back foot, Liverpool pushed up to press the team higher up. A simple tactic for them would be to try and get Abraham or Willian in the gap behind the defenders, which they occasionally managed. This led to a big chance, as previously mentioned, Willian and Kante tucked in, and Azpilicueta is free on the right. However, Liverpool's line is high, and Abraham gets in behind and chooses to shoot rather than square it. In the second half, Chelsea were dangerous after some changes. Alonso had come on in the first half, and Chelsea now attacked the left-hand side relentlessly, with 41% of their attacks coming down that flank. Now, when they were forced long, they were sure to get numbers high up and around Abraham, with Willian and Mount now tucking in alongside him to win the second ball. But in the build-up, Kovacic now operated on the left-hand side almost as a left-back, which allowed Mount to tuck in and freed Alonso to effectively become a left winger, where he could cross the ball into an overloaded box, which led to chances for Batshuayi and Mount. Let's take a look at Liverpool's attacking play. Liverpool used their conventional build-up shape, with the back 2 and Fabinho just ahead of them and the fullbacks pushing high. Usually, Chelsea defended in a 4-3-3. However, when they chose to press, it would shift to a 4-4-2 with Kante pushing higher up. But in the first half, Chelsea did not press as a team, so when the midfielder pushed up to join the centre forward, Fabinho would be left in acres of space and Liverpool would have a subsequent overload. Aside from that, long balls were a major part of their play. Liverpool then used their common tactic, where Henderson would push high into the half space, freeing Salah to receive a switch from Van Dijk and be 1 versus 1 against Alonso. Emerson dealt with this situation better in the first half, but when Alonso came on, he was offered on the wrong side of the ball, allowing Salah to get on the end of the long passes and be 1 versus 1 against Tomori more often. Matip, on the other hand, would often seek out Mane, and this was facilitated by Firmino dropping deeper to create space, and Matip would play it into the left-hand channel behind the defence to isolate him against Azpilicueta. As always, Klopp encourages both Robertson and Trent high, as Mane and Salah would both push centrally, drawing in the fullbacks. This would free them to cross more often, but in the first half, the massive gaps left behind were a major region to attack for Chelsea, leading to many dangerous situations. But this really was the extent of Liverpool's attacking threat, as they were off their game offensively, only having 6 shots throughout the whole match. In the second half, Chelsea were now pressing as a team and taking higher risks, compacting the space and making it difficult to play through the centre as they lost their rhythm. In the end, Chelsea's poor finishing let them down, as well as giving away free kicks in dangerous positions. But what other tactics did you notice? Leave them down in the comments below to discuss with everyone. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.